As you can see, we've got the third generation Toyota 4Runner tore apart. We're going to start putting on the coastal off-road high clearance steel bumper. Can't wait. I got everything ready for it. Everything removed. Watched a few videos. Was reading the instructions one last time, and I noticed something that I'd never seen before. And I want to show you guys, just so you're fully informed. Okay, as you can see here, I have a bunch of pieces laid out. I actually have 1 through 7 laid out. And one thing it was saying is that we have to remove this piece here. So there's one, I believe it's either 10 or 8 millimeter, but I believe it's 10 millimeter. One down there, and there's 2 up top. We have one here, and then one tucked behind there. I believe if we remove those 2 first, remove the bottom, we should be able to slide that thing right out. All right, so yeah, it is a 10 millimeter. There's just one last one down here. Careful the radiator, the condenser for the AC. But yeah, that's it right there. That's the last piece to take out. Now you got some touch up to do. Here we go. We are underneath. As you can see, there are 3 holes here. 2 of the holes line up with the hooks. So, what you're gonna do, take your first piece, I'm just gonna hand tighten it in. And this will be piece number 1. Get the other one in there. Same thing over here. It's a 17 millimeter. All right, guys. Well, looks like my day is over. Tomorrow I have to go get some hardware. Okay, something I wanted to do to make it easier is go ahead and number everything. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we got 7 sitting up there. So we have the first 7 pieces ready to go. Okay, and then I came over here and numbered everything else. They got everything here in the instructions, shows you everything, and they do advise that you lay everything out. Now, I do have, the limited, so it has the extra flares. If you have an SR5 or you remove these or you don't want your bumper to go out all the way to the end, you want it in tighter, well, then this piece here, number 15, will look just like that. It'll actually be a 15 with an asterisk. Okay, so you just saw the video on how to bolt this in, drill the hole. Now, I'm gonna make sure you have some nice thick washers. You wanna place these in, make sure the notch lines up with your air conditioning line. You do not wanna bust your AC, especially if you live somewhere where it's hot. You really don't wanna do that. All right, and then we got our nut that we're gonna weld to the top. We got the correct hardware, grade 8. Now the reason why we're putting that washer in there is because we want to be able to take this bumper on and off. I mean, hopefully not too many times, but if we ever have to, if we got to work on something, or heaven forbid something bad happens, we want to be able to take it off. And you put the spacer in there, the washer as a spacer in there, so after it's welded together, you'll have a little bit of play to get it on and off, which will make you a very, very happy person. Okay, so we've got 1 and 2. If you're old like me, you need this knee pad. Now we have number 3. Now the trick to number 3, because this slides around. This isn't going anywhere, even though it is bowed, but we're going to fix that. This has to be lined up with this edge right here. Because I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tack. I'm going to put a little tack here, make sure that this one's perfectly squared up, and I'm going to go ahead and put a tack on this side. I don't like the way this sits. So we'll go ahead and lift it up to the 2x6. Okay, so like I said, I made 2 mistakes. I didn't tack these nuts, which you were supposed to tack these nuts on before you put this piece on, so obviously it's easier to get to. And I should have only tacked this one on here, not along the front, and you don't want to put this flush on this edge. I'll show you why. So we're going to do it correctly this time. None of this stuff down here is welded. We are still going to go ahead and use a 2x6 and lift that up and tack it and move the 2x4 as we go. So that was the mistake I made. So when you put number 2 on, you then weld the nuts up top. Then you tack number 3 right here, right here. So it gives a little pitch. You can swing it back and forth. Then you tack number 5 to number 4. It's much easier, well, especially if you have a TIG. Only tack it on the front. Don't tack or weld anything on this side, because you want to be able to set that in there and get it nice and flush. Okay, that's what we want. That's what we want right there. All right, let's keep going. Everything else is already square. Good to go. This in, everything's tacked, everything's square, everything's done correctly this time. So now we're off to piece number 6. Okay, this doesn't make sense. That does not sit like that. That is our line. Our first piece is notched. This one is not. So we're going to go ahead and notch it out. Now what I'm going to do, I don't like the way this is sitting here. I haven't tacked that in yet. But I know one thing for sure. This has to be tacked flush up to here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tack this side nice and flush, and then we'll fit everything else up. This is how much further I got. Last time we left off, we were just tacking on number 8. Here's number 9, number 10, 11, and 12 down here. And that's the time that I realized that I wasn't recording anymore. One thing I want to talk about is you can see how nice everything's fit in there. I mean, it's super tight. I see people that bevel the edges. They say to bevel both sides. You don't want to bevel both sides. You only want to bevel one edge. I only beveled this edge. Obviously, we don't have to bevel because it's flush. And then for number 10, I only beveled number 10 on this edge. I left this hole. So in the back, we'll still have some meat to grab onto when we weld it up. Okay, and then just like the same thing, when I had these two corners meet up, I only beveled this edge and left this one alone. Okay, now number 12, this one I beveled this entire edge and this edge. Okay. So long side to the driver's side, short side, passenger side. And then we'll just barely trim this, just a little tiny bit. So we'll put a bevel on here and just barely touch that. Okay, when you're doing a bevel, good way to get it, just go like this. Take a Sharpie, just run that sucker down. This one's real light, so I don't even have to mark that one. Anyways, that's going to be what we're going to grind down to. That line right there. That'll help you out. Okay. So there you have it. Decent bevel. Just a little bit on that side. Let's see how it fits. Sure looks like a nice tight fit right there. Look at that. Okay, now it's time for number 14. Okay, I don't know what's going on with my phone today, but that's how I record all my videos. All right, so I wanted to show you, that piece getting put in, but apparently I wasn't recording yet again. So there you have it. Plenty of room for the shackle, plenty of protection. And then we even put in number 14, which is this piece here. And that one, just 2 clamps. Didn't have to bevel anything, nothing. We got this one little tiny corner, a little bit of fill wire will fix that. It's all gonna look smooth. This is all gonna be really nice and easy to weld. It's the top piece here. This is number 16. And the way you can tell the difference between 16 and number 8, because they're the same piece, only there's a notch right here for the passenger side. Okay? And that's for here for part of the air conditioning system. Basically, even though that's piece number 16, that's number 8. And now we're going to move on to number 9. There we go. That's the correct way for it to go in. So we're going to bevel it down towards the black line. Just makes it easy to remember. We don't bevel the wrong side. Alright? We're just going to go ahead and bevel that. And then number 10. Number 10 will go here. We're going to go ahead and portion of it. And then piece number 11. This one will go here. And then go ahead on this side of it. Okay, this one's got a little bow to it, so it's nice and flush here. Bit more. Oops, popped out on me. Okay. We're going to take this side down and this side down. Bolted her back on. I still have to finish TIG welding the front, but I did clean it up, and I really like the way the end caps came out. It came out really nice, really clean. Oh yeah, and I long arced and burned a little bit of the rotor. Don't do that. I recommend tacking downward. I just finished her off this morning. All right, let's see what she looks like when she's all cleaned up. Okay, here we go. Here it is. Only one more piece to put on. Got the mineral spirits to clean the steel. Got some high heat ceramic coating so I can do the inside underneath the winch. Then we got our primer and paint. And then finally we'll have our rubberized undercoating. I cut 2 big holes in here and cut the top out. Probably thinking, well, why the heck did you do that? Looks like crap. Yeah, it does look like crap. The license plate, we'll go over it just like that. And what I did is I laid the license plate out with the holes, and as you can see, I marked it out, to the edges. So then I knew that most of those ugly holes would be covered up. just like that there, you know. So all that'll be covered, and now we can access, you know, we can actually start a bolt and tighten it and loosen it. Hopefully the winch will last a while and we won't have to mess with it, but if and when we do, we'll be ready and have a little bit more access. That seemed like a pretty easy way to cut it without messing anything up. Now, I also put a bevel on this piece all the way, and I'm gonna put a bevel down here on the bottom. And then that should sit nice and flush. All right, tape it off. And I'll share that. Yeah, we'll be welding it. Look how fast this paint dries. I'm not speeding up anything. I just painted this. I mean, that's wild. Look how fast it dries. Okay, see the bevel? I didn't cut anything off, I just beveled it. Things fitting up nice. Nice and smooth. As you can see, here I beveled that piece also. And there is a little bit of a lip sticking out, but that's what I'm gonna use. With a TIG torch, I'm gonna use this little lip as the filler. All right, I MIG welded that last little section there. Got the welds polished out, smooth and blended. Just gotta finish those. That's it. It's all cleaned up. About 10 minutes. Now we are ready for paint. Time to wipe her down with some mineral spirits and see how this thing comes out. Well, it's all painted and primered. Came out really nice. All right, you guys. Well, there's your coastal off-road high clearance bumper. Now, hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes. Number one, make sure you have all the hardware. Number two, don't skip any steps. Now, I did do things a little bit out of order, and in the instructions it does say put them in your own order if need be. Well, I found a few things that really helped me out. Hopefully they'll help you out. And I got a few more things to do to this front bumper, but as far as if all you're ordering is the high clearance front bumper, then I showed you everything that you need to know to get it welded, get it fit up, make sure it's square, and make sure it's easy to take on and off the vehicle. All right, now, the washers that we use for spacers, all right, to make room to get it on and off, use those washers on the bolts with lock washers, okay? That's real important. Okay, the nut up top, even if it's a lock nut and you weld it, guess what? Your nylon, it's gonna melt right out. So from the bottom, 1/2-inch bolts, use those washers, some lock washers over that. You should never have a problem. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please hit like, please hit subscribe, and why not make a comment or two? Thanks again for watching LJ's Off-Road Hot Rod Mods.